Greetings all. Shane Bruce with the Rest of My Daisy with an exciting part 2 of a video we did about 5 days ago about working on the modern plastic abutment, model 1938s, number 111Bs and 105 bucks. What we were doing in the first part of the video was explaining how the aluminum and plastic abutment assembly works in the current gun. And now, because I didn't show you how to get it out of the gun, we're going to show you how to extract one from a gun and then reinstall it. So first thing you're going to need to do is have a gun. Second thing would be nice to have is a vise. And the third thing is a pipe of some description that's roughly about a 1/2 inch bore, but less than 3/4 of an inch outside diameter. Because what you're going to do first is take the pipe, after you've removed the front side assembly and the little plastic barrel shroud, that's all gotten to be removed and taken out of the way. You're going to slip that in, sleeve the barrel, and push it down until you feel the abutment. When you feel the abutment, you need to get yourself a nice hammer, and you need to give it a couple of love taps. So hold it in place firmly and just give it a little tap. They're not pinned and staked like the older abutments, so they do tend to slide right out. And once you get it going, all you have to do is take your pipe and just give it a little shove until you get to the back end of the gun. And lo and behold, there is our abutment assembly. So get yourself a pry bar, a probe, a screwdriver, something of that nature, and go ahead and cheat it out the rest of the way and take a look at your assembly. All right, so that should look familiar because this is what we were looking at on the other video. Aluminum, plastic, fixed seal. So there's no staking of the receiver or anything like that. Now, that's getting it out of the gun. To get it back in the gun, typically you're going to have the weapon inverted. In other words, it's going to be face up, which means that this slot right there, that slot, the one that you actually see the BB with, has got to be pointed to the top of the gun, which means that when you go to reinstall this, the aluminum piece should be facing up because the gun is upside down. Now, there's a couple of tricks you can use to get these back in the gun. First thing we're going to do is clear our pole out because we don't need it anymore. But you have to keep in mind that when you go to put your abutment back in, gravity being gravity, it's going to drop the barrel because the barrel weighs more than the back end. And that is going to catch on the compression cup. So what you want to give yourself is a tool, a piece of wire, a thin piece of metal, and you want to insert that in. You'll notice that it's not quite straight. It's got a little divot up at the top. And that's in there on purpose so that it doesn't get hung on the edge of the compression chamber itself. Now there's another little trick, I guess you could call it, I'm going to show you. When you get ready to reinstall this, it's important that these slots are horizontal. So that means that it needs to go back in the gun like that, not like that, not like that, not like this. Because these slots in the base of the abutment seal line up with slots that are in your plunger assembly. So it's important that you get that correct. And it will also help you make sure that your viewing slot is lined up correctly. Once again, aluminum side up, that horizontal in the bore, this small piece of wire to help you avoid getting hung on the compression chamber. So what we do is we insert this in the back. Let's get a shot back here so you can see what I'm talking about. The little thing needs to be horizontal. Now, here's the helpful hint. What we're going to do is we're going to slide this compression, this air tube into the gun, and we're going to allow that tab and that slot to line up. So now we've got the ability to slightly twist it once we get it in position to make sure that we're where we want to be. And there we go. Our little wires helped us. Now, if you can look down here at the top, you'll see how you can get it to turn left or right slightly. And you just kind of push this rascal on home slowly and evenly. You'll get to a point where you've got to use a push tool. Let's see. So you use that and go ahead and seat the whole assembly. Now, once you've got the assembly seated, take it out of your vise, pull the wire rod that you stuck in there and take a look and see if you can see the BB chamber, that little slot right there. So you can see into the BB chamber, And if you've got great eyeballs and good light, you can actually see the magnet down below. So that tells you that you've got the rascal in right. So now it's time to withdraw the plunger assembly, and then you'll be able to go ahead and use your compression tool and compress the mainspring. So the plunger assembly comes out. I'm going to take a look down here in the base with a light assist and see if we can show you that our abutment assembly is in. Can you see that? There we are. And the slot is horizontal. And we confirmed that by looking at the top of the chamber, and we can see, yes, there's a hole. There's the slot. We could see the BB if there was a BB in there. And there you can see the magnet itself. So you know that you've got everything lined up correctly. And that is that. That's how you take an abutment or a modern shot tube fixed abutment out of a modern plastic safety Daisy and reinstall it. That's all we've got today for you kids. This is Shane Bruce with Resto Mod Daisy signing off.